fucking brick in it. Do you know why? When Laura turned around and stuck her hand up at 10 minutes for the lady who shared before, I was going to run and set the alarm off. And I was sitting in the Kazi earlier, and it felt like I was going to watch West Ham play again. And I thought, fuck this. And when I turn around and I look around here, and thank you, Andy. Yes, I was an angry man. It's because I got caught. Yeah? And it really fucking ruined me. But you know, I always turn around and I start a share. And I always put my hands together like this. And I turn around and say, trust in me as I trust in you. Believe in me as I believe in you. And that brings that power into this room. Because this power, which I can feel, these spirits, these empty seats I can see. I can see spirit. Because this is how we're connected. You know, I've wrote some stuff down because my brain is frazzled. And because after the share, I go, fuck, I wish I said that. Fuck, I wish I said that. So I won't deviate away from this because I've got an iPad now. It's not stolen. First, I'd like to thank the CA committee for all the hard work putting together this weekend's convention. Organising something like this isn't easy. Dealing with each other's character defects is not killing each other in the process takes real patience. So well done. Fucking well done. It's amazing, isn't it? Fucking not killing each other. Wow. That's amazing. And also, you know, when we turn around, we have that minute silence. I like to do that again for the still suffering inside and outside of the rooms. And as the friends we've lost and family members we've lost. So I'll just stick my hands together like this and I can feel that energy running through. Thank you very much. And I'll extend a warm welcome to the newcomers and those who are coming back from a relapse. We have a solution. It works if you work it. Get out of me into we. When Frank called me, and asked me to share, I was on one of my adventures. And I remember saying to him, I was in Pattaya, not the most spiritual place to be, but I was at an AA convention. And he said to me, he goes, I want you to share. And I went, you fucking what? He went, hey, I'd like you to share. If you're back in the UK, come and share. And I went, yeah, all right then. And then I put the phone down and I went, I feel useful, not useless, you know. I've been kept alive for a reason. And I know what that reason is. One day at a time, that's all we have. And today I'm 2,660 days in, clean and sober. I'm working a daily program, not messing about, daily program, consistent daily program for 2,400 days. That means morning routine, structure, everything. Prayer, meditation, doesn't make a difference where I am in the world, what time it is. I'm fucking adamant I've got discipline because I was a disciplined user for 32 years. And this is what it is. I didn't even know that if I turn around and work that morning routine, and I'm going to share this open because I'm going to be fucking brutally honest with you. I swear a lot. I don't give a shit. But that's me. But the fact of the matter is this morning, I wake up, go to the toilet, do everything else, and my head's saying I'm going to divorce the family, fuck the family. I'm going to marry a Thai bird. I'm moving to Chiang Mai. Right? That's exactly what it took me to. And I went downstairs, picked up my book, and I went, fuck me, I love my family. That's where it takes you to, because that's the chat of 1,000 monkeys. I call it the chat of 1,000 monkeys. Even with A Better Mind, the film with Robin Williams, fake it until you make it. Fucking love it, eh? Because at the end of the day, that stinking thinking, it's been managed. I didn't even realise every rock bottom had a basement. And I hit fucking every one of them. I fucking did. I crawled myself out of so many basements, it was unbelievable. And then I heard this when I came in. It's a spiritual program, not a religious one. And I might upset anyone, but I say religion is for people who fear hell. And spirituality is for people who've been to hell. And that's us. You know, we've been to hell and back. And a therapist, my first therapist, said to me, there's two waves. And until someone straightens out that wave, generations are to fall. So at the moment, what's happening at the moment, I can see generations changing. That correction, which is taking place, each one of us is a part of that history. You know, I see all the youngsters coming in, you know, and I'm looking at them going, fuck me, they're young. Fuck, I wish I got it when I did. You know, but the fact of the matter is my journey's my journeys. And this is it. Rigorous honesty. From the dark into the light. Fuck my dog, fuck it. I've done some complex trauma therapy, which has brought up a lot of stuff. And I'm going to go straight into the childhood. I come from poverty, abuse, and trauma at a very young age. I was a product of my own environment, the environment which I didn't put in place, and it really hurts me. When I talk about it, I get really emotional about it because I get all the flashbacks. I get the flashbacks of my father coming in, you know, grabbing one of us and beating us up, you know, beating my mum up. I'm seeing the neighbours, they're selling gear, the other neighbours are fighting, alcohol, got racism going on. I'm born and raised in northwest London, in Harlesden. So in the 70s, it was rife, you know. I'm seeing all this. I'm getting into a nursery. I don't want to go to nursery. My mum's texting me into a nursery. She's throwing me into the nursery, you know, and I don't like it. I'm very young, you know. You know, even through prayer meditation, I've relived some of these scenarios, and they're fucking painful. And without pain, I can't grow. I have to own my shit, you know. So really and truly, I started using at the age of 6. I was sniffing glue at the age of 6. I didn't even know what it was, but it was changing the way I felt. That's 6 years old, for fuck's sake. That's in 1979. That's amazing, isn't it? That's fucking unbelievable. And at the age of 7, I picked up my first drink. I remember that day, and I'll share this, May the 10th, 1980. Because I remember that day because it was Arsenal and West Ham final. And I remember the can of Fosters. I remember everybody laughing. And I remember I turned into a West Ham supporter because my brothers were Arsenal. So that's the only thing which came good out about that, you know. Fuck it. But when I turned around and I looked at all the other bits and pieces around it, is Tipex spinners and aerosol cans came quick, yeah, at the age of 7. Up and running? No, but it changed the way I felt. Did I know where my life was going to end up? No. I used to look up in the sky, and I used to see the planes. I wanted to be a pilot, not a fucking drug addict. And that really fucks me up when I even think about it, because I still see the planes, and that's why I've been travelling a lot. I've done 50 flights in 1 year, because I love planes, you know. But the thing is, you know, with all the domestic violence which is going on, every time something happens, I'm hiding in a corner. I'm going to school. All I want to do is be a part of something, and it's not happening. And the uncomfortabilities, I come from a religious family. They kept on dragging my ass to the Hare Krishna temples, chucking Hinduism down me, this and that. Not allowed to eat meat, not allowed to have tattoos, not allowed to have piercings, not allowed to wear leather, not even allowed animal fat and fucking cookies. Krispy Kreme cookies, little cookies, you're not even allowed that. So that was fucking stuck in one little rut. Resentful, yes, my family, fucking hated them. I just didn't want to be around. I used to be an argumentative person. And I used to say to them, because if you want me to be the way you want with the Hinduism, take us back to fucking India. That's the way I was, yeah? Because at the end of the day, this is not happening. But all they done was the best. And all I know now, it was generational. What they were taught, they were trying to teach me. The spiritual side, they were trying to teach me. The religious side, I wish I fucking listened. You know, I used to see the Hare Krishnas down Tottenham Court Road, jumping around like lunatics. I'm thinking, they're on one. They're definitely off their fucking trolleys, you know, singing Hare Krishna, jumping up. And I'm thinking, these guys are high as a kite. Man, I don't want to be like this. But what happened is, at the age of 13, my sister got an arranged marriage. And I love my sister. And that day, I remind her, I found a little corner in Willesden High School. She got married there. And I sobbed my fucking heart out because I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to show anyone else the emotion. So I hid in a corner, a 13-year-old kid, and sobbing. And then I turned around, and the next day was the change of my life. And this change occurred was, I went to school, and at tea break, I went up to the off license, and I didn't know, this choice I made, I didn't know what it was going to do to my life. It really didn't. I remember going to the off license, looking at the MD 2020, the Thunderbirds, the blue and red, and if everybody knows it, they were nice colourful bottles, drink that and it fucking licks you up quick. And that's exactly what happened. I took that first swig, and that was it. I'd found something which suppressed an emotion. It suppressed the mechanism. It done something for me that was unexplainable. You know, even at the age of 8, I remember going in and doing my first shoplift, and I was in Brent Cross in boots, and I remember the game. It was Commodore 64, and it was a Hobbit, and I remember getting away from the security, and I went, oh, fuck, I got away with it. Yeah. So what I did, I kept on stealing because I loved the buzz of it. But once that alcohol kicked in, that was it. That led to 31 years of carnage. That first swig, which I fucking got hold of, it got hold of me very quickly. You know, I see boys walking around with special brew cans and superintendents. I want to be like that. I left school at the age of 13. I could just about read, I could just about write, and I took to the streets. And when I took to the streets of northwest London, I wanted just to be a part of something. I went into gangs. And those days, there's no CCTV, so you can get away with a lot of stuff, and it was fucking fun and games. I don't know about you lot. I loved the kitchen parties. I loved the little warehouse raves. I love everything about it, but there was something else which was going on. Every gang I went to, they turned around to me and they said, "You're a fucking liability. We don't want nothing to do with you," right? And then we all with a gang, we was up to no good, and you know like what gangs are like, and they rejected me, they're abandoning me, right? So I turned around and I said, I don't know what to do. So what I did, my neighbours were Irish. Fucking the Irish take on anyone, I'll tell you that. Fucking hell. So I spent a lot of time with the Irish in Kilburn, and that's where they named me Paddy Patel, because of my drinking around. They were hilarious. They really were. The kitchen parties, everything they were doing. But there was something going on. And I wish I spotted it. But they were using to the extent that they were ODing. You know, I lost a sister to an overdose. And I found her cuddling a bowl, but she was dead at a young age. But I still didn't learn. And everyone was telling me, don't do what we do. And what I did was I said, fuck you. How can you turn around and tell me what to do when you're doing the same stuff? So I forward this, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to forward this all the way. If I turn around and tell you about war stories, I'll be all day fucking long. But the fact of the matter is, what he took off me, it ripped me to bits. It took me to bankruptcy, took me to divorce, took me to a life support machine in 2004. I lost all contact with my family, my mum, my dad. My sisters disowned me. They didn't even realise that I'd been to jail. They didn't know half the stories I did, because what I did is I hid. I hid through the system. I changed my name twice because of the criminal activity I was involved in. Everywhere I went, anywhere I'd done, the geographical, what they talk about, it followed me. Anything from a small bear led to a big bear, led to a top shelf. Any drug which was put in front of me, I took it. Anything which was more powerful than somebody else's, I took it. Why? Because I wanted to get licked up quick, because I want to go into that dark hole very quickly. At the age of 19, I had a gun in my mouth. I remember sitting there, and I was in a box room, and I didn't pull the trigger. I know the tune which was playing, it was Mary J. Blige. It's because I'd been abused when I was a child, sexually abused, and it fucking ruined me. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. It was my blocking mechanism. And everybody used to say, what is wrong with you? And I say, because my pride and ego had stopped me. It stopped me. And what happened after that was everything was a tumbling thing. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I wanted to die. And I was shit at dying. In 2004, when I done the overdose, They found 2 unknown traces in my bloodstream. I've travelled the world partying. I've done all types of drugs. It doesn't make a fucking difference. But when they found that 2 unknown traces, when they told my family, they went, "What the fuck have you been doing?" Yeah, they didn't have a clue. They brought me back to life 3 times on October 16, 2004. I could still hear the flat line in my head. And when they brought me around, all I wanted to do was, in my head went, switch off the fucking machine. I've had enough of this. I've lost mates, I've lost good mates, I've lost everything around me. Everybody talks about school friends and people they used to knock about with. I can't talk about them because they're already dead. There's only me and one other person standing, and it breaks my heart to know I'm up here to share my story. I got married. That didn't last long. Always do a little name check on someone when you're married and make sure they're not black belt in Taekwondo. I done Kung Fu, so yeah, the domestic violence was unbelievable. She's still a user, she's still out there. I was told not to marry her, and I did, because guess what, I didn't want her to get that arranged marriage. I always think about East is East. They pulled the curtain back and she looks like Miss Piggy, so I went, fuck that. So that was the worst thing ever. And the thing is, the marriage didn't last long. We moved a couple of times, and then we moved to sunny Essex, found a little cul-de-sac. Let's start again, let's try and do it again. Didn't work. And you know when they talk about psychosis and they talk about situations, I've been in a lot of psychosis for a long time, and I'll share this one, is I got done for murder in 2003. I got picked up for murder. I got covered in somebody's blood outside a club. It was in the papers and everything. And when it banged me up, they interviewed me. It was 3 days into it, and I said to myself, shit, I think I might have killed someone. And the police officers interviewed me, and they said to me, because if you don't know you committed murder, you've got a problem. I went, the only problem is, you dirty pigs, give me my fucking clothes back. I don't care if he's dead or not. And that was my answer. After looking at CCTV, it was the person next to me stabbed him 26 times. And I didn't even notice that. So I had fucking problems. You know, after the first divorce, I went on to the second missus. You have to move quick, don't you, sometimes? Because I didn't realise I was codependent as well. Yeah, I didn't know what that fucking meant. I ain't got a fucking clue, you know. When I turn around, I need to have a missus, but I need to have 2 more lovers just in case the missus ain't giving me what she wants. She's telling me you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're looking for a gun underneath your pillow. You're screaming, you're shouting, you have got underlying issues which are major, and I say, fuck it, I've got it under control, it'll be all right. By that time, I've set up businesses, I've done this, I've done that. I've done a lot of hooky stuff as well, a lot of dodgy stuff. I mean, I'm a very good scam artist, and I'm good at making a pound note. But I'll tell you where the crunch time was, in 2010, we got married. I told her I was going to seek help. When I looked at TV programs and, you know, films, and I used to sit the people sitting around and they introduce themselves as a addict, and I introduced myself. I go, you fucking weak bastards. You can't control it. There's no way I'm going to end up in them rooms. So, you know, sling your hook. But the fact is, I used it as an excuse. I told the missus a couple of times, I'm going to a meeting. So I went to a meeting in Loughton. I didn't even look at it. I went straight across the pub. It was nice and appealing, and I went, wait. She went, how's the meeting? I went, it was shut. They closed it down. I'll look for another one soon, don't worry about it. So the crunch time came is 2015, 2016. I lost a dear friend of mine. He took the rope, and I thought I was going to go out that way. It broke me. I destroyed myself in 2016. 2017, I noticed there's no one else around me. They're talking amongst themselves, and they said to me, and I heard a rumour that they don't want to be around me because once I explode, I'm going to end up killing someone, or I'm going to end up killing myself. So everyone just disappeared one by one, and they were right. They were right. In 2017, in November, I had a heart attack, which I was rushed into hospital. They put me on a monitor. And then in 2000, December 16th, I went popping doors and I picked up a knife. My missus was moaning, telling me to go into treatment, and I told her to get fucked. And I picked up a knife and went to slice my throat. The kids come running in, and she knocked the knife out my hand, and I picked it up and I threw it at the missus, and I ended up chopping the missus. And that's how I could have killed her. You know, the mother of my 3 children, I could have killed her. The police officers came. This is the first time I went, take me. I'm fucked. I need help. And that's where the journey began, you know. The injunctions were put out of me. I wasn't allowed to see my family. My sister took in charge of me, and she said, you're going into treatment. If you don't go into treatment, I'll never ever speak to you ever again in my life. So I listened to her. I went into treatment, and I met my people. I walked in there, and I went, fucking hell, there's a bunch of lunatics just like me. Wow. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? It's not about me anymore. I stayed there. I didn't want to stay there. I drove to the treatment centre. If you got off the chance, don't drive to a treatment centre. Don't do that. And I walked through the doors and I realised, you know, they were talking about a emotion. Choose an emotion. Every time they came to me, I went, fucked. He went, that's not an emotion. I went, that's why I'm fucked. You know what I mean? So, and the fact is, everything was there. But I didn't want it to work. I didn't want it to work because I didn't think it would work. I didn't know there was going to be a solution. They told me to go into meetings. I was meant to stay there for 28 days. They had to sedate me on the 6th day. They tried to get me to do meditation. And as I closed my eyes, the darkness appeared. And I trashed the whole room and I had to be held down. That's how bad my mind had gone. My mind was frazzled. When I got released from a treatment centre, I had nowhere else to go apart from the rooms. And then somebody went, try CA. I went, I'll give it fucking CA a go. And I mean, CA saved my life. They were telling me to get service. I told them to get fucked. They told me to get Unity. How much are you going to pay me? What's it going to cost me? You guys can't give me nothing for free. You're always going to be after something. I always had it in my head for 30 years. Somebody's always after something. And I didn't realise. They were after me to get well. For them to help me keeps them well. I didn't understand that. I was like, fucking hell, how's this working? They're going to the toilets using... And I'm like, they're going to the toilets. They must be using. EastEnders has taught me, anything goes wrong, you go in a Queen Vic. Any birthdays, go in a Queen Vic. Anything goes on, you have a beer. I didn't understand it. And by that time, when people were telling me about getting sponsorship, and I was like, you know, going to my home group, and yes, I was angry. Yes, I was frustrated. If I've suppressed it for so many years, how the hell am I going to be dealing with the inside? It's an inside job. I had to deal with everything inside. 4 months it took me, and a sponsor approached me, and he went, I want to sponsor you. I went, how much? Everything was how much, because I buy myself out of life. The only thing I haven't bought is the 12-step program. I bought my driving license, I bought my qualifications, I bought my passport, I bought everything. I buy myself out of life. And what happened is the spiritual growth, the resentment, anger, all these little niggly little bits which have been holding me back, and with the stuff which were my triggers, were working them steps with a person fully armed with the fact. He took me into his home, and the first thing I said to him was, I can't read. I could read little bits and pieces. He goes, don't worry, Vinny, we'll take our time. I went, you've invited me into your home. I fucking used to rob from people's homes. He went, Vinny, I'm here to help you. That's all I'm going to do. But all we're going to do is talk about rigorous honesty. I went, how honest do you want to be? He said, how free are you going to be? And I went, maybe I'll give it a go. We worked for certain steps. Every time I got to the car after a little book session, I go, what the fuck is this cunt on about? What's he on about? He's on about high power. And I didn't try that drug. Where the fuck is that drug? Where's that? My head's taking me to that number, but I'm getting clean time. I'm uncomfortable, I'm irritable, I'm restless, I'm discontent. I don't know how to live. I don't know if I could get out of the car and kick somebody's wing mirror off, throw it through the windscreen. What do? You kill him with kindness. I went, how's that fucking work? That irritates them even more. So I turned around and I've done that, and I went to the step 4. I've done my moral inventory. That moral inventory showed I should have been dead long time ago. That's what it said. There was a part to play. I was fighting with my sponsor. My sponsor's still my sponsor, and he went, "Fuck me, you love a fight." I went, "Yes, I do." Because there is no part in it. Sexual abuse, there is no fucking part in it. I was a child, they had no fucking right. He went, "Forgiveness is the key." I went, "Fuck that. Can't do it." It took me 3 months to keep on saying the sick man prayer. I went to every church, every temple, everything. I was trying to do it. In the end, it clicked. I have to ask for forgiveness. The forgiveness gave me that freedom of peace of mind. I own my shit now. Step 9, I hated my father to the T. I made amends to my father, and I got a cuddle. And it was my first cuddle I ever got. I cherished that cuddle. Through recovery, I was on a meeting, and she's sitting there smiling. And my father came past, and he gave me a kiss on the forehead, and that was my first kiss. I could still feel that. Through recovery, that relationship for 2.5 years with my father, I would cherish. I wish I got recovery earlier. I miss my father. I lost him 4 years ago. I managed to dress his body for the cremation, put his whisper bar, Old Holborn, and a red Rizzler, and my 3-year recovery chip in his hand. He got cremated that way. That's the power of this program. I got my sister back in my life, my brothers. I got my mum. I got my first son back in my life. I got everyone back in my life. Why? Because this book, which weighs 1 kilo, by the way, because I weighed some kilos in my life, and I had to take it out of my rucksack when I was going from Chiang Mai to Vietnam, and I went, "Wow, fucking 1 kilo." It saved my life, because what it is I've been subconsciously reprogrammed. My morning routine, my morning structure, everything I read from it, the selfishness, self-centeredness, the self-pity, the self-delusion, the self. That's what it is. I've had a profound alteration in reaction of life. Spiritual experience, Appendix 2 says it all. I found something. I found that conscious contact with a higher power. I didn't keep myself alive. I have 2 spirits standing right next to me. Someone's looking at me right here. I've got 3 spirit guides. They've kept me alive for a purpose. Clean house, help others. They're my guiding stones. Anytime I feel lonely, I talk to my spirit. I talk to them all the time. It doesn't make a difference where I am, what I'm doing. My angel numbers are appearing all the time. Everything is consistent with numbers with 111, 222. It's up to you if you want to believe or not. But there's evidence on my phone which I've captured the spirit world, and I've videoed it, and I've tried to capture it, because guess what? I'm still searching. I want to know what it is, what it does, what it's going to do for me. But really and truly, all I've got is today. And today is a miracle that I'm standing up here, clean and sober and alive to live this dream. It's a spiritual program of action. Somebody said to me about relapse prevention. He goes, "What's the major words in relapse prevention?" I failed to enlarge in his spiritual life, full stop. We're working a spiritual program. If we turn around, we're not doing enough around that spiritual side, we're going to hit a fucking brick wall. And if we hit a brick wall, we're going to get really uncomfortable. That uncomfortability will give us that irritable, restless discontent. Today, downstairs, I drove in early with a legit car, with legit fuel, with an MOT, with a driving license. Fucking brilliant. And I sat downstairs, and before I came up here, I was doing a meditation. If we look at frequencies, if we look at 528 hertz, repair DNA, we look at 963 hertz, higher states of consciousness, we're looking at the third eye. I'm looking at all of this because I'm searching, because I was fucking searching, all was for the packet. Now I'm searching for a solution. That solution, which is giving me that spiritual foundation, is absolutely priceless. If you're struggling out there, get honest. That doesn't mean go and fucking pay 15p for a fucking bag. It's about getting honest inside. How are you feeling inside? What is actually going on? Are you going to be brutally honest? I was brutally honest about 6 weeks ago in a meeting, and I sobbed my heart out because I wanted to kill myself. I do a daily program, I do my meetings, I sponsor, I do everything, and it came upon me that I wanted to die. And everybody turned around and we can't believe that just happened to you. And I stormed out of the meeting because what I want to do is throw myself in front of a train. Because what it is, fear of abandonment and rejection. My wife is going through some bits and pieces, so I had to read up on hormones and the biological stuff. Really and truly, reading all that, it should have said it at the front page, keep your mouth shut, men. Fucking easy. That's the only way to learn. It's the only way to learn. Go on mute. But I've got the magic of mute. On my phone, I have an app which turns my head off because I've got a hearing aid. I've lost my hearing due to a few factors. And now when I've turned around, I look at it, they put me on medication for the rest of my life. And they said that the chances are I'm going to be losing my eyesight slowly. So that is the actual effects of recovery, what's happened. But today, I'm a happy person and I'm joyous free. And if you think that you can't do it, all you have to do is just turn around and look around. Fucking so proud of all of you just to be here, just breathing oxygen. They haven't put tax on oxygen yet, so make the most of it. Because when they do that, it'll be the fucking video. But think about this, one door shuts and another door opens. All the youngsters who come in, all the other people who's here, not only are you changing it for yourself, you're changing it for your future. And I think that's just priceless. You can't fucking put anything on it. The most important thing in my whole entire life is not my family, it's my recovery, my fellowship at CA. So I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Have a blessed journey.